and welcome back to the channel. So if you saw last week's video, you'll know we're up in the Narrabri area in New South Wales. If you didn't see that video, I'll put a link up in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. This week we are over in Yarra Lake and we're going to kick off proceedings by a bit of a sunset shoot. Here we go. Right, so it is, I don't know what day it is today, anyway it's Friday I think, it's a Friday, and we're on the west bank of Yarra Lake, and it's about 5:15 and the sun's about to go down over the horizon. So I thought I'll race around, because we're actually camping on the other side of the lake right now, and I thought I'll race round and try and get a shot here of the sun sort of just piercing through the trees here, and it's just about the right height right now to do that. We've got the lake in the background, there's a bit of breeze around, which is a bit of a shame because I would have liked a really calm surface on the lake. Can't have everything. But what we found is this this group of trees, we've got sort of 3 trees on the left, we've got about 3 or 4 trees on the right, and they're all sort of forming this V. You might see, if I step out of shot for a second, you might be able to see how these trees are sort of leading the frame in. You've got 2 big trees in the center with a couple of shadows, and I'm just trying to get the sun behind one of those big trees, maybe try and get a bit of a sunburst around the tree. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. I've 5-shot bracketed it anyway, and I'm sitting at about f14 right now to try and get that starburst. I've closed the aperture right down, and if you close the aperture down, you get much more of a starburst or a sunburst. So here we go. Let's check out the shot, see if it came out. Now, of course, the principal reason for being in this part of New South Wales was to shoot the radio telescope array, and you can see from the map here that it was actually in very close proximity to Yarra Lake. So we had to very quickly pack up the gear, get in the car, and then race around the corner to start shooting. Here we go. Alright, and welcome back. So tonight we are at the Paul Wild Observatory. So Paul Wild Observatory is about 20 minutes west of Narrabri, kind of up northwest of Sydney, and we're here to try and get a couple of galaxy shots of these radio antenna here, the radio telescopes. They look absolutely magnificent. I think they're about 22 meters across. There's 5 of them in total, and it's an open night, so the CSIRO every now and again will open the doors and allow photographers to come in and do this. It's a booked event for tonight, but we're going to try and get some galaxy shots. There's going to be a little bit of an arc of the galaxy, depends how late you stay of course, but the event finishes at 11, so we're going to try and get as many shots as we can before then. Now, I'm not going to be able to video record it because there's too many people around, and I can't put lights up for obvious reasons. So what I'm going to do is shoot away, see if we can get a couple of shots, maybe try and get a portrait and a landscape shot here. My aim for tonight is to try and get these 3 radio telescopes in a line with a sort of streak of the galaxy above them. That's the aim for tonight. If I get that shot, I'll be really happy. And I may also try and do a longer exposure, maybe over 45 minutes or an hour, and see if we can get some turn in the galaxy as well as it moves across the dishes. So enjoy. If any of these shots actually worked, here they come right now. Well, I wasn't able to get my 1-hour exposure of the galaxy to get a bit of a turn in the galaxy there, because I simply wasn't aware that the dishes themselves actually move quite a lot. So when you were setting up to take a shot, you actually had to be very quick, because you only had a few minutes of the dishes being in this position to capture the shot. So I did manage to get my landscape shot. I did manage to get a portrait, which I'll put up right now as well. So let's enjoy these together. I'll be back in a sec. once everything was finished up at the radio telescopes, we drove back round to the campsite and set ourselves a campfire going. And my recommendation is anytime you have a campfire running, make sure you look up, because as we looked up we could see the campfire was lighting up the trees and directly overhead was the galaxy. So I managed to set up the tripod, point it vertically, and complete with shooting stars, managed to get a shot here. So next morning it was time to pack up our campsite, leave Yarrie Lake and then head out towards the east all the way through Narrabri and onto the next part of the journey, which was to climb to the very summit of Mount Capar. We were going to stay overnight and get a few shots from the top. Here we go. Well, good morning and welcome from the summit of Mount Capar. Mount Capar sits about an hour's drive east of Narrabri. It's absolutely gorgeous, beautiful place. We actually camped here last night on the summit. There's actually a campsite right up at the summit, and it got down to about 2 degrees, which was a bit of fun, but that was fine. Everything was all cozy. And this morning we were right up at the summit, which I've been reliably informed is the highest point between here and South Africa. There's nothing higher between here and South Africa. Go figure. There you go. There's a lot of land and a lot of sea in between, but there you go. So right now we're just waiting. We've been here since 5 o'clock. I got up early this morning, came up to the summit and just been watching this gorgeous sunrise happen in front of us. And the plan this morning is to probably get one nice shot of the actual sunrise happening itself. I've got this kind of really nice sort of U-shaped little valley in front of us here with some layers of hills behind it, so you can sort of see the light and shade of the hills as they roll into the distance. I'm trying to stand with my back to the wind right now because it's actually blowing a hoolie right now, so it's pretty breezy, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So I've been doing some panos here. I've been doing sort of 4 or 5 shot, just horizontal panos, because there's nothing in the sky that I'm trying to capture. So I've moved the horizon slightly up in the frame, and I'm just waiting for the sun to come over the horizon so we can just get that little bit of starburst or sunburst just on the horizon as it comes over. Because it's so windy right now, everything's kind of moving in the wind. So I'll probably try and do a quicker shutter speed to try and freeze these little trees in front of me, and then combine both the shots of the sunrise and the trees into one sort of panel. That's the aim. Hopefully it all comes out, but it's absolutely stunning up here. If you ever get the chance to visit Mount Capar, I thoroughly recommend it. It's been absolutely gorgeous. So if the shot came out, here's the shot. Let's check it out. So just before we get into the sunrise shot from the summit of Mount Capar, the night before we actually did a sunset shot from the same spot, the summit of Mount Capar, and got some great conditions just as the sun was going down in the west. So here's that shot. Well, that's it from the summit of Mount Capar, and that concludes really the trip for this time around. We Started off in Sydney last Thursday, and we've been up through Narrabri. It was about a 6-7 hour drive north of Sydney there. The radio telescope array was just sensational. It was the highlight of the whole trip, being able to sort of go into the grounds there, and the staff were amazing. Just some very, very smart people there, but very gracious of them just to allow the public in and photographers to go in and take shots of the dishes. We had perfect conditions in the evening, no clouds at all, so you got the full galaxy in the night, and with the dishes there as the foreground. So it was really an amazing night. But also we stopped, found a lake with some dead trees. We came up to Mount Capar here, which is absolutely sensational. If you have the opportunity to come to Capar, I'm standing on the summit right now, and it's just absolutely beautiful. 360-degree views from the summit of Mount Capar. It's really gorgeous. We camped here last night. It got down to 2 degrees, but it was fine. So that's going to conclude the trip. We did a sunset last night, and we've done the sunrise this morning at Mount Capar. Such a great trip. So if you enjoyed the shots, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up down here. Subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. We'll be out again next weekend, shooting somewhere else. So if you're subscribed and ring the bell, you'll see the notifications come up for the next trip. So I'm going to put all the shots up now with the settings as I normally do. You'll see what all the settings were. And then we're going to head over some breakfast, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.